RagnaroK. Track. ByuN. Ryung. Most competitive 1 versus 1 game. Africa TV Freak Up Studio Live. GSL Season 1. Code.s.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time to have, I actually forgot which match this was. RagnaroK versus Ryung. Okay. This is going to be a tough one, I think, for our old boy Rags.
Yeah, Ryung is playing damn nice.
Ryung the Hyung is back.
Very important match, actually. Look at this. They're kind of very close to tied, 3-4 place here. So this is like a do or die for them. I'm just gonna start making up narratives for points. I'm like, Ryung needs to win this 2-0.
Yeah, guys, this is going to be Match9 here. And again, you know, Ryung looking extremely strong. That being said, I mean, there's been some surprises here from RagnaroK for sure. Let's not forget he had that disappointing performance against ByuN. It was not close like we thought it was.
ByuN was playing like a monster for the first 3.5 games today.
Yeah. And then ByuN had a GG to his wrists. Even though the wrists don't move on to the next round. But Ryung, I mean, he looked to be in great form. I think he's got his, you know, one of the bigger challenges in the group out of the way. But going up against Ryung here, this is a tough opponent, man.
Yeah. Ryung has been playing so well. I'm interested to see how he's going to play here against RagnaroK. And is RagnaroK going to play straight up macro games? We're going to see some cheese out of him. Hard to say. We did see that he's weak to Banshees. And that used to be Ryung's forte. This guy used to be Mr. Banshee.
Yeah, Dr. Banshee, Professor Banshee. Even.
They weren't even Banshees, they were Banshers.
Artosis, you can go home now. I'm going to cast the rest of this. All right, guys, we're ready for game 1.
GSL Season 1. Alpha X, RagnaroK. Team GP, Ryung.
Ooh, little command center first. But
What do we got here?
gas pool
from our little beef ragu.
Our little ragamuffin over here.
Yeah. Our little raggedy Andal.
Trying to climb up one more Ryung in this group.
Whoa. Well done. So, command center first, and we've been praising this throughout the tournament. But, you know, one of the reasons why you don't see this that often, and people don't do it on ladder, is if they make anything that can attack you, you die. So let's see what RagnaroK can and will do with a pool and a gas right away.
Well, makes 2 lings only and then a drone, so it seems like a little bit of a defensive pool first so far.
Yeah, but I guess that's when you see this, that's usually what it's for, is like, I don't want to just die to... To Marins.
Yeah, you never like to die to Marins. Speed is on the way. RagnaroK. Let's see here. Gotta send those 2 lings down, but I mean, there's gonna be a Marine. So not that scary. Probably won't be too happy with what he scouts here. considering.
Well,
he,
he's
he
going
went
to
for like a
scout
safety build against
Yeah.
a greedy build.
He's going to scout that he's behind and that he could have actually probably done a whole lot here. So he's going to get there and realize, okay, you know, the orbital about to finish, and the other tech is just now getting filled in. Ryung's in the lead, guys.
Yeah,
That's Command Center first for you.
looking good for him so far.
Kind of cool to see Ryung pull out this build against this player in the first game of the best of 3. You know what I mean?
I feel like we haven't seen any 12 pools in a while.
Yeah.
Like, there was once upon a time, it was like you couldn't get through a day of dark playing without a 12 pool. But now no one is interested.
Yeah, it's really fallen off, actually. That's a good point.
Well, he was the only top-level Zerg that actually said it was good. Some people are saying he was being sarcastic, but he actually used enough that I think he did think it was good, but maybe now he doesn't
Well,
think
it's working, you know, in a current meta. Metas are funny. I mean, not just in StarCraft in any game, but when it's like everybody's playing this kind of weird way that you start to kind of play around that, and it's like, well, this beats what's happening now. Like, honestly, people that watch GSL or ASL for, like, to learn and to improve, one of the best things you could do is almost try to play around the meta of what you see happening here. Like, if you're a really good player, where it's like, oh, well...
You mean a scumbag?
Yeah. Like, that's yes, you gotta be a little bit of a sneaky snake.
Yeah. That'll definitely do well for you. Speed for Overlord's upgraded very, very quickly. We'll get a nice scout there, sees exactly what's going on. Stim and Viking. Some Hellions. That Overlord gonna book it out of there. He doesn't want the Viking to find him.
So the Baneling's nest is coming down.
That's
Again,
such a chaotic rally, or a chaotic patrol when you see them running like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if they go any faster, they're like making an atom or something like that, you know? You know, going around the nucleus or
Just
something.
causes a hurricane. Like, so the Overlord's going to come in here and scout, and immediately see the double eBay, which of course is going to signal that there won't be an attack coming for a while.
Couple Overlords have been picked off only. Layer coming up here for RagnaroK. And, well, guess we wait a little bit here.
Yeah, there's just not much else to say right now, guys. We're kind of waiting.
Right now, I'm kind of interested in RagnaroK when the layer finishes, what we're going to see thrown down. He should be making a Baneling nest here momentarily.
And the double Evos have just now finished here for RagnaroK. So, again, momentum is going to be here for Ryung. If Ryung does do a kind of window timing here, he can basically hit when 1-1's finished. And the Zerg doesn't have the upgrades. And as long as he's on top of this, until we get both sides to 3-3, basically Ryung should be ahead the entire game as far as upgrades.
Well, Ryung is producing a hell of a lot of units right now.
Yep.
And he's tried his best to kind of hide exactly what he's doing. Look at this, he's stopping Lings from coming in. He's retaining his Hellions. He's not producing SCVs at all. So it's going to be a very strong push. He doesn't even get add-ons on those other Raxes because he just wants to get as many units as possible here. So 3 Siege Shanks. It's like a bunny push, but one more. He figured out is he took Bunny's place as like the next really good Terran.
Yeah.
And he puts one more tank in the medevacs.
Yeah, yeah,
Bunny's going to come back over the top with 4, man.
Yeah,
it's going to be crazy.
Okay, he's going to be coming out right now. There's Banelings making. He scans. He could try to take a few out before they finish.
All right, they do end up finishing here. Baneling speed is not done, though. All right, drops another tank a little bit closer up. Doing some good damage to these queens. They pull back as much as they can, but have to turn out and fight a little bit.
I mean, I feel like these
tough.
Banes just can't get a good connection here.
Yeah, not yet. Ryung really hitting this timing very, very well. A lot of links coming in from every side. Now he's going to roll down before all the creep is gone. Getting rid of the tanks almost.
Oh my God,
oh,
2 tanks live. That
Worst
should
case scenario.
be GG. And is he going to actually deny this? No, I guess it's better to just try to take the fight than worry about the upgrades. But
all about killing these units right now. No, he's definitely done it, man. I mean, when you dive that hard and you only kill one of the 3 tanks and the other 2 are red, that's worst case scenario.
We're going to go to game 2 now. It's very clear that Ryung has closed this one out. Again, CC first unpunished makes for a very easy mid-game.
These Banelings going to get picked off. Oh, he gets one. Wow, that was a crazy drone stack right there.
GG, Ryung takes game 1.
We are weak, but we are many. Drones. Yeah, no, that was well done. I like that. Adding the 2 Raxes, not even putting add-ons, just going for it.
Yeah.
He got the Viking to try to deny scouting as well. He retained all of his Hellions.
And he threw the Viking into the Queens right when the push came, just buying a few seconds of time. The infantry get up the ramp, they kill off a couple Queens, he comes back. Yeah, man, but again, it goes back to that command center first. It's really strong if you don't catch it.
Yeah, and I mean, he got as good a build order as you can get there because it was a gas pool opener from RagnaroK, but a defensive one, so it was like the ultimate build order advantage as far as the beginning of the game goes. And now, we're going to be going into Hardwire.
Hardwire. Let's see what Ryung opens with. I don't think he'll CC first again, but, you know, we could get one of these best of 3s where you do 2 in a row. Again, you know, RagnaroK kicking himself. He basically did the worst possible opener versus that because he went pool first and then didn't make anything other than 2 lings. Because basically, RagnaroK opened up to just stop Cheese in an all-in. Anyways, guys, Hardwire's ready. Let's go.
2022 GSL Season 1. Alpha X, RagnaroK. Team GP, Ryung.
Heating up right now. Not that many matches left here.
Yeah, and you know, once we get not this one, but the next best of 3 done, we will have the conclusion of Group A. I don't think we're gonna have a tiebreaker, but we'll see.
Well, Rogue's already through.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it would have to be, the tiebreaker would have to be a 3-way tie for one of the spots, or possibly more, I guess. But I don't think so. It doesn't feel like that's going to be the case.
What was RagnaroK's score? Do you remember? I actually don't off the top of my head.
I can't recall.
I don't know.
I don't know.
They're putting us on the spot here.
Who's
Sorry,
RagnaroK?
Who's RagnaroK? So funny.
Oh, you mean Rags? Oh, no, I don't know that either.
Dude.
Tosis, what's RagnaroK's middle name? I'm like, Koreans don't have middle names?
NAROK?
Oh, man. All right, so just a Reaper expand, it looks like.
Yeah, nothing special coming out here on either side. No proxy racks, no quick CC here. Well, a quick CC, but not the kind that we saw from the last game.
Reaper just coming down. We're going to have this little combo here of Reaper and SCV trying to block. At third base, Queen. Ah, no, the drone actually turned around when it saw it. So good choice there.
Yes.
It's always silly when you see like Extractor cancel, Extractor, Queen's walking out slowly, grenade hits Queen, Extractor cancel, Reaper has to run away. I'm like, look at that. I've not seen that a lot of times.
This must be the first time this has ever happened.
But that's okay. We get to see the getting 2 lings into red and 2 into yellow. So thank God for that.
So he does slip this drone up here. Not going to get the denial. Excuse me. No nade over there or anything to pop him back up.
Pushing that Reaper back, Queen. Very fast third CC.
Yeah. I mean, Ryung just basically wants to power up. He's confident that RagnaroK's not going to be aggressive. But let's keep in mind, RagnaroK actually was aggressive in day 1 of Group A.
Yeah. And in the previous group stage, he was unbelievably aggressive.
Right.
But yeah, it really doesn't look like he's going for that here. It does look like a macro game.
But if he were to go for a Nidus, it would probably be a welcome strategy.
A Nidus would have fared well here, but he's not geared up for it.
So he's going to now have the Reaper come with the 2 Hellions. Just try to look to kill creep for any opportunities you can find, really.
Right, Hellions, the Reaper coming down. It's running right past. Just a little bit of zoning back and forth. I mean, this is the very, very standard Toon Pro. Ah! BC Rush. Nice.
Oh, look at that.
Not what I was expecting.
We actually haven't had this in a little while.
Yeah, we haven't had any this season. That's for sure.
And he's not going to scout this.
He sees the 3rd CC, so that's something.
But that's not the thing that I think he needs to know if the BC rush is going to come, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, 3rd CC could just as easily mean, you know, a very strong-looking ground push, kind of like what we saw in the last game. Like, he wants to end the game. He's going to get there in a different way, but he wants to end the game in the same way. But the BC play it could possibly throw RagnaroK off. It's funny what partial information can do to your brain when you're playing StarCraft.
Very true, very true. He is making some spores, so that's good. He's still making queens, that's good. See how many BCs actually end up getting made. And I'm interested in what the follow-up for Ryung will be, because he's actually an excellent mech versus Zerg player. He's got 4 gases. He hasn't committed to an add-on tech lab for the racks. I think it's going to be a mech game.
Yeah, it could be. He's going to try to win with style here.
Yeah,
and so there it is. Good call, Artosis. So, you know, this is going to take a while to kind of build into this tech. But he basically wants to kamikaze in here with all these Hellions and try to see what he can kill.
Well, this draws queens up as well, so he should be jumping in just as soon as that pops out. You can draw him elsewhere. Oh, one Overlord, 15 Lings going down. Only lost a Hellion so far. Very, very efficient. Double armory.
Yeah, Battlecruiser's not done yet.
Takes a while.
He's going to dive in once more. And the queens are in a good position, so he can't do much. But, you know, having all the queens here, if he doesn't have proper air support, I mean, there's a couple good tactical setups you can get with this, basically. So the BC's out now. And it actually already takes out 3 drones. The Hellions are going to come into the 3rd now. And again, you'll take whatever you can get. Nice snipe onto the queen.
Get some damage on those Lings. The Lings are getting very good surface area, but he will pull back. There's enough queens with enough energy here that the Battlecruiser may be having a little bit of a hard time getting more damage. And after he sees the BC, he actually goes melee, which I think is a slightly interesting choice. Zergs at the pro level tend to prefer going like a Roach type of play against mech as opposed to Ling.
Yeah, this is a little bit curious because I don't know. I just feel like it's not as strong.
I've actually, yeah, it definitely feels that way, but I think it is doable, and there's definitely some very strong Zergs that have tried to say as much, like Raynor and whatnot, a while back. And the thing is, I think he's going to go Mutas here as well. And I've definitely heard many Zergs say that Mutas are not as... It's harder to do. It's harder to do than if you go like Roach Corruptor. Ling Muta is much harder to do against this, I would say, but I think it actually... I like it. I like it, Tasteless.
Well, it's
you can't ever convince me Mutas aren't the right choice, man. They're ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you start to get control of the game, it's going to be very good. But I mean, Widow Mines are coming out now, and it's like
Thors as well.
There's a lot that can go wrong here.
Yeah.
And this is either going to prove RagnaroK's brilliance or that he's just handling situations wrong, where someone like Rogue would do something so much better.
Well, it's a brave choice, let's say.
And that's one thing we need in our pro gamers, Artosis, is bravery.
That's true. That is important. We don't want cowards here.
Okay, he chases out the Mutas, no problem. And again, Mutas, I mean, you know, the more you get, the better, but they do lose a little bit of their potency after the reveal.
Yep. Well, he might. It's possible he doesn't make any more now.
Yeah, that could happen. He
Like
is
you
getting
can
air
make
weapons.
you can make a small amount and like kind of force more anti-air. But yeah, I mean, if you're forcing out a lot more anti-air with those mutas, they've already kind of done the job. They can help against the BCs a little
What
bit.
a gamer! You see him taking these mutas down?
Yeah, kind of chasing them down with those cyclones. Gave those mutas a cyclonic right there.
What? I don't even know what that means. All right. Terran's still turtling. I don't think we're going to see any major attack either, at least not until... by the way, it's obvious now that he's not making more mutas. It's the same numbers before and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
And he is switching over into some roaches now as well. So.
Yeah, but is it going to be too late? I mean, we're at 164 supply, but basically Terran's going to be maxing out very soon.
Powerful units as well. Mutas come up to try to help some, but 3 queens get gunned down in a matter of seconds. Yamato will be done relatively soon here.
Command center.
A lot of Banes actually being made. I think he's going to try to blow up a base.
Yeah, makes sense. Saves that one. Oh, these Hellions going to end up being chased up into those Lings, but the Lings are going to move out now. What does he actually have to defend here at 12 o'clock?
Planetary. The worst possible thing against Mass Bane. All right, just guns that right down a matter of seconds. Doesn't get that many workers. 7 workers?
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah.
It is inadvertently a supply block as well, but I think with all that happening, Ryung is going to just move out now.
His army's pretty scary.
Yeah, and you know, when you trade in all those Banes onto the Planetary, it didn't slow down this army that we see right now from coming.
That's for sure.
So, you know, this could just be like a moment that you know, Ryung can actually just bust through and kill him. Doesn't have to happen. Well, I say that, but he's not moving with everything, so never mind. I thought he was going to just like unsiege and go out.
A lot of Ling Bane just trying to force this back right now. He definitely does have to play kind of a swarmy defensive game right now. But Ryung is actually taking this rather slowly. He's adding 4 tanks right now. Like, I think he has to move when those pop out. Greater Spire, definitely a good call. Nice scan upon it.
Yeah, man. What a difference in style, by the way, from Ryung coming into this one. I mean, he's going to come out now. He's got the Hellbats. This is the Death Ball. The question we have to ask is RagnaroK going to be able to deal? It's clunky, it's slow. You can try to do counterattacks, and they usually can be pretty effective, but the damage output's pretty absurd.
Yeah, it really is. And, I mean, it's hard to make the Banelings actually trade well here. Might have to trade a bit inefficiently, but...
Yeah, it's a lot of tanks, and he can basically make these long branches with them.
The Corruptors, like, that's a lot of Thors under the VCs. The Corruptors are not actually all that useful right now. Like, he's going to have his Greater Spire. Okay, here we go, trying to get in. Goes down some Lightning Clouds here. Goes after those BCs. They do have to jump out. Some good Biles come down as well. Of course, only Ravagers left over. Those Corruptors really not doing anything. I think it's time to make Broods.
He remaxes very well. Yeah, I think he probably should get Broods, man. Harpoon's one of the Thors here. The Thor actually just walks right back out.
That is hilarious, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's going to try to, I guess,
he's looking for the
ooze
BCs.
down. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to try to like go to the Planetary and ooze it down.
I think he's trying to catch them before they get repaired.
But this was held. You know, tanks aren't so tough when they don't have any cover.
Oh, the BCs hid very, very well. So the Corruptors just did not find them. RagnaroK now making 9 Broods. See what he's able to do with that.
I mean, this is definitely a losable game for Ryung.
Yeah, Yeah.
there is kind of this endpoint with mech where you actually finally come out with that push. And I'm going to be honest, man, that wasn't that hard for RagnaroK to deal with. And one of the things about going for mech is you're kind of stuck in it after that. And so I think this is going to give RagnaroK a lot of freedom here. And I think if there's any game that RagnaroK can win tonight, it's this one.
For sure. Like, I think you definitely have to like his position a bit more. He's got a good amount of bases. His creep spread's still pretty good, but don't count Ryung out. Like, his army can get very, very efficient. Because look at the actual army of RagnaroK right now. It's actually kind of funny looking. Like, broods, and then he's adding more corruptors here. Yeah, he's got some Ravagers, but there's like not even a Viper in here. So yeah, that was definitely part of him holding the other push.
Yeah. Now, there's still plenty of map up here at the top for Terran to grow into with bases. So, you know, whenever we have games that start to look like this, you know, you've probably heard us say it a million times now, but you got to, you know, emphasize it because it's really what this whole game may center around. It may come down to the two bases in the middle, left and right. Terran can kind of drag this game out to a point where the Zerg is going to mine out. And, you know, Terrans always grow a little bit slower, especially against Zerg, and because of that, you can try to use that to your advantage by having them, you know, diminish all their resources trying to attack into you, and then you calmly move into these other expansions, and, you know, there's nothing else the Zerg can do.
Yeah, and we might see Ryung try that, actually. He's got a very powerful force right now, but not that fantastic on attacking.
Right.
And we did just see him throw down a whole bunch of Raxes, so he's going to be going into Ghosts. And if you add Ghosts to what he already has, you can't get much more cost efficient, right?
No, not
It's
really.
like Siege Tanks, BCs, Thors, Ghosts, a Raven mix in there. That's pretty damn good. That's going to be hard to break. That's going to be really efficient.
Okay, it's going to be time for the Zerg to push out. And I think this is going to be a very important moment here for RagnaroK. He's coming out with the Corruptors. Doesn't even manage to snipe the Raven or anything else like that. Or was it a Raven I saw back there? Am I crazy?
There's a Raven.
There's one in there,
There
right?
is one.
Okay.
That and 3 BCs.
Yeah. But it's, funnily enough, Ryung is also pushing, which means somebody's got to be wrong here, right? You don't have two players that are both supposed to have a fight in the middle of the map. Someone's supposed to be attacking, the other's supposed to be defending. But this is going to be it.
All right, here we go. The Corruptors are actually doing a good job taking down the BCs very, very quickly. There was an armor shred in there. Loses the Raven as well. That is a lot of Thors. That is very, very, very many Thors. He's definitely losing this space. Just going to give that up, and rightfully so.
Ro.10 going to drop off as well. Not really important, but where does the game go from here then? Can Ryung try to do anything else with this?
Gosh, he's so Thor heavy right now.
Keep in mind, like, Thors are so slow. I mean, you know, there's really nothing on the ground that can compare to the slowness of a Thor. So, I mean, it's scary, but you can run away from this with ease.
Yeah, you definitely can run away. And that's kind of what he's doing. He's staying back. He's like, all right, come up onto creep if you want to fight. And, I mean, when he does come into creep, you're going to close a lot more quickly. See, throws down a bunch of Biles here. Comes up with those Corruptors as well on top of the BCs. And the Broodlords are doing their job. Some good damage put out there. It's interesting watching like one BC being made at this point in the game.
Yeah, when there's already so many Corruptors out, right?
Yeah, well, I think maybe you want to continue to force them to make Corruptors, so adding one BC at a time seems like okay for that, right? Because like the Corruptors are not that useful, and the Broodlords are, they're all right, but there's Ghosts coming out, and there's a lot of Thors, so like you can deal with them. These are not our Wings of Liberty Broodlords, you know?
So, I mean, the Zerg has fended him off, basically. Terran is going to take the top left. But, you know, I think there's actually, at this point in time, probably a lot more game to be had here in this match, too.
Oh, a lot of Banelings rolling in here. Goodbye, Planetary.
Now, if he goes on the Planetary, I mean, it's going to work. But will it work in the long run? I don't know. I mean, this is the efficiency issue when you get to split map.
Yeah, moves like this when you're split map are not
Are not good.
if you're going to use that as a tempo play to push back more bases and keep them on less bases,
well,
that can become good. But against mech in this situation, I don't think that's going to occur.
If you're going to spend 15 Banelings to go in onto a planetary over and over again, and it doesn't work, you're not actually trading efficiently at all. And so let's see what the next kind of jab in here is going to be for RagnaroK.
Throw down some static D. Single lane harassing.
Corruptor's going to come up here from the side. Another attack in over here. A lot of Banelings. But these Thors are kind of these giant buffers for damage. And
these Banelings are doing terribly.
Yeah, that was like the worst thing ever.
That was
so bad, that's insane.
Like
oh, look at this. He's like, sidestepping him.
Yeah.
Now, there's going to be a counterattack. The thing is, this counterattack's going to take 1,000 years.
Yeah, well, the Thors are going to march over. Slowly but surely. Love the Raven, I love the Ghost. I really like a lot of what Ryung is doing here, but we keep seeing more Banelings made. Sometimes against Ghosts, Banelings can be pretty neat because even when they're cloaked, you can like knock them out, but I don't like Banelings here at all, and this is like the third round of Banelings that I really don't like, and there was like a couple before that I wasn't super a fan of. I do like Neural. That's nice. He has 7 Infestors, so, I mean, if you steal 7 Thors,
yeah,
that battle changes
that could
quick.
swing the game pretty quick.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a little bit worried here, man. I mean, it's been so cost inefficient. I think Zerg lives through this attack here, but let's see. Oh, these tanks are so chunked.
There's a hell of a lot of Banelings to kill 2 units.
That one Thor in the front. He's dangerous, man. No HP. He's still marching out there. So he's poked out this base again. Now, I would really love if we could do like a mineral check here.
Yeah, that would be nice. All right, more Banelings coming up. Biggest ST fan in the world.
Yeah.
You can see they really do not do very much damage to the Thors.
Right.
But you know what? He knocks out that army.
And now we've got 7 Hellions and 4 tanks.
Yeah, it seems like
3
this
ghosts.
is going to end up working. So
yeah,
that's, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Well, I think we're getting a little bit too experimental. It was an interesting match to see how it went. But again, you know, Zerg can really manage these big tech switches very easily because of the way their infrastructure functions.
And Ryung, I guess, won't die right at this second, but he's taken enough damage. RagnaroK has enough bases.
Yeah. And, you know, one of the reasons why we don't see mech used as often, and I think why it's not probably overall as strong in this situation, is it's hard to remake what you have.
It is.
Terran have to take, you know, everything out of a few buildings, where Zerg have hatcheries and they're banking larvae.
Yeah.
And it's just a better regrowth mechanic, or whatever you want to call it.
There's not a set comp either. Zerg can like jump around on what they're making and make your units a little bit less valuable.
Terran have to have a lot of barracks if they're going to go bio, where they have to have a lot of factories if they're going to go mech. And so you get locked into one of these you know, production things.
Well,
and, you know,
it's like when you see Thors, right? Like a bunch, 10 Thors out there, and then suddenly you make more Roaches.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to do pretty well. More siege tanks, okay. Broodlords, it's gonna work out.
Exactly.
And so
You
that kind of jump
basically-
around helps.
you dance around what their tech is, and you just try to keep countering them and kind of rotating your tech.
Yeah, yeah.
And you win.
I'm still not a huge fan of how he used Banelings this game, but like,
Yeah.
I think actually the Corruptor into Brood like forced enough Thors enough times that he started to take battles very, very well, where we actually needed more tanks and he had a more Thor-heavy army.
Yeah.
Because the Thors are beefy and they do good single target damage, but it's not like a group of siege tanks which will just splatter the whole army in a matter of volleys, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean,
You just can't get that many.
well, they're coming out of the same building, and yeah, I mean, it's
Supply as well, supply efficiency type things.
so he's gone into tank Hellion, and basically RagnaroK is, you know, kind of He's erring on the side of caution. He should be able to win this, but it's not over just yet.
Yeah, Ryung is trying to remax. He's actually got enough supply to do a pretty good job here. Let's see. Okay, so Banling's rolling in.
Oh,
they
actually
get
backs
splattered.
up. You know, Nidus wouldn't hurt to do at this moment.
A
Put that in
Nidus
the
would be
main.
fantastic right now. You're definitely right about that. The Nidus doesn't even have to be that much. If you just start killing a little bit in the main, they have to send some units back. You start hitting the edges a little bit more. It's a great move late game against mech. 100%. Just late game in general.
All right, clears out those tanks.
Decent piles, yeah. So Ravager hit squad doing a good job. You know, one thing I have to say, the Ghosts have not been doing a good job this game.
Yeah,
like he added 3 racks a long time ago. He's been very low on Ghosts, and we haven't seen the Ghosts with that much action.
Yeah, that's true.
I haven't heard many
Sniper,
snipes.
EMP or something. I guess there's nothing really to EMP. It's one of those investors burrowed in the middle of the map, you know.
That is kind of funny that we see like a complete lack of Vipers. Who was it that used to never make Vipers? Was it Sue?
Oh, I guess,
Sue would like refuse.
Yeah, he was like all mutilating. You know, there is this clunkiness to RagnaroK's style. Like, I feel like there's opportunities in these games and he can't find them. Does that make sense? Like the Nidus or the counterplay, and you know.
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
It's kind of like why we see Rogue so flawless, and then when RagnaroK, it's like, yeah, you're good, but like you don't know.
It does feel like he gets a little bit stuck in what he's doing.
Yeah,
he doesn't.
He doesn't. To the next step.
He doesn't pivot really well. Which sometimes that singular focus though can be very good too as a pro gamer.
Yeah.
Because like you're gonna lose a certain amount of games no matter what, right? So, just like kind of having your plan and executing is a very good way to go about the game. Broodlord's really putting some damage out. I feel like normally in games like this, we'll see mech players maybe add Vikings in to help out with that.
Yeah.
Like 1 Raven plus Vikings would be really, really nice here.
Well, what is... Okay, he's going to push. I was about to be like, what is RagnaroK's plan here? You know what I mean? Like, you can't... Zerg has the center left, by the way. That's one of those 2 bases where it's like, you could go to either side. So it's like, this is just not going to work for you. You know? Again, Ravager's biles are actually very strong against mech at times because it's hard to move out of the way as quickly.
Especially if you're sieged.
Right.
Alright, clearing this out to get another base. Ryung needs it badly. RagnaroK's starting to get a pretty big bank right now.
I mean, look at this. At this point in time, RagnaroK is going to encircle Ryung as much as he can. This is just, yeah, I mean, this game is slowed down to a crawl, folks.
Which honestly, I think they're both playing it right? Like Ryung doesn't actually have an opportunity to attack. He has to try his best to just stay alive. And he's kind of walking around well enough, but RagnaroK is doing the right moves. Like he's preventing mining and hitting little areas. And looks like he is going to hit over on this base. This is going to do very well. That is a very important location for Ryung right now. Now, Ryung, yeah, he's gonna do a little bit of a base trade here, but that base for him is worth more than the base that he just killed for RagnaroK, and by multitudes.
It's like a weird. It's gonna sound weird to say, but like sometimes taking a base like the one we're seeing here that RagnaroK did, it's almost like I'm just taking this so he can't take it.
Yeah.
Like he has to come over here and actually like work to kill it. He can't just like throw an SCV on, you know, and make command center or float a CC or anything like that. He has to like physically fight stuff.
And it's slow too. He killed a base when that happens. That was like so worth it for him. It's crazy. Ryung is in very bad shape right now.
Yeah, no, this is quite bad. And so, I mean, the only thing Terran can do, oh no, and he's gonna drop these tanks here as well. One thing about, you know, when you have enough Brood Lords, his tanks never get away.
Yeah, surround him too quickly.
Yeah. All right, is this the final battle?
Nice EMP there on the Vipers.
Kind of ready to go into the next game, to be honest.
Oh, for sure. So is, so are they, I think.
Yeah.
All right, the Fungals, plus the Blinding Clouds, plus the Biles, plus the Broodlings. You've never seen death like this before.
Yeah. This is a Mortal Kombat fatality in a StarCraft game. GG.
Okay.
All right,
tied
game
up 1-1.
3, go.
Tough one there. Ryung definitely was hoping to win this 2-0. Get that score up a bit higher.
Right.
Felt like he was playing pretty well there for a while, but RagnaroK did get him off the bases with some of these attacks. It was one of the least efficient fights against mech that I've seen, but it worked.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a win is a win, right? You know, it doesn't matter how perfectly you played the game or if it was the sloppiest game of your life.
Yeah.
He did it. I do think you see kind of why RagnaroK is not where Rogue is, though, you know?
Oh, for sure.
There's a preciseness that Rogue has where he knows how to absolutely navigate the game to where it needs to be and then close it out.
Yeah. All right. What does Ryung bring out here on Berlingrad?
He does not do what he did in the last game.
Does he go command center
I think
first?
I don't think he goes CC first. I think he plays normal, just do a push. I think he brought that game to a kind of a weird place where it's like, yeah, I mean, it was close for a while, but like, why are you doing this? You know?
Well, seems like RagnaroK dealt with it well enough.
Yeah.
Berlingrad going to be our next map. Our last map here.
With these two for now. And yeah, we're just waiting for confirmation from the players to start the game. You can see the tension here. Ryung may be debating what build to try to bring out in this. Yeah, Berlingrad, as you said,
yeah,
that's
he is
where we're
really
going to settle this. Well, I mean, you know, a good player knows how to rotate in the right builds, and clearly in Game 2 that was not, you know, that was basically a waste of his time to try that. You know, it didn't pay off very well, and I don't know. I do sometimes think that maybe like a game like that, Ryung's like, I'm so much better than you that now I'm going to bring out this thing I've been labbing. And then it's like Ryung kind of just overpowers him, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, I haven't really seen him do BC mech. Like, he used to do Banshee mech quite often, but that was a long time ago, so I don't want to like shoebox him into that. He's a lot better since back then. But definitely RagnaroK was able to kind of flex his way out of that with that huge economy he built. The set 3 going to be starting shortly.
Yeah, great series though so far. It's been fun watching these two duke it out. Again, very different games. RagnaroK really playing more of the reactive role, very middle of the road. Where Ryung really kind of bringing out radically different builds and different approaches here. And our game is loading up. I don't know what the delay was for that, but we're getting into it, guys. Game 3 is ready. RagnaroK versus Ryung. Let's settle this.
2022 GSL Season 1. Alpha X, RagnaroK. Team GP, ByuN.
And our beautiful audience. Thank you everybody for coming down. I look forward to when we can actually fill this studio up.
Yeah.
You guys probably, many of you have never been to the studio, but when it fills up in here, it's basically like that party in Matrix 2.
Oh, it's exactly
it's
like
exactly
that party.
like that. It's just like people are barefoot and dancing, and you know.
Do you remember that one season where they tried that here, where they like put on music before it started and like gave people like Pepsi or something and tried to make it like a club atmosphere?
Yeah, what happened with that?
I believe
was that for StarCraft here? Or was that another
That
game?
was StarCraft 2,
Okay.
and if I'm recalling this correctly, that was like when that disgusting split between GSL and OSL occurred for WCS, where they're like, you know what we should do?
That was so bad.
Is we should gut GSL and give some of it to OSL. Whoa! That's an
right.
idea, folks! And they all high-fived. And then we tried to make a club, and it didn't work.
Yeah, it was like we were casting games that weren't in our studio for a while, and I'm like...
To like 2 people in the audience.
No, that was actually so awkward, because like people could still come, but it's like people want to come to like where the pros are at. Like that's part of the appeal. So like we were literally, if you remember, we were put on the front main stage.
Yeah. No,
so it was like people would come in, and there would be like literally like 2 people.
Yeah. I look down at the audience, and they're staring into my eyes. I'm staring at their eyes, and I
like
just mouth, I'm sorry.
We're casting to a lot of people online, but in the studio, I'm like, well, this is almost like we should have even let people in here to begin with if there's only 2.
Yeah.
It's got to be rough, man. There's nothing I think more cringe than like trying to perform or entertain when it's like, yeah, there's like 3 of you. Yeah. Or literally 1. One time there was 1 guy, and he like sat at the stage, and we're like staring at him, and he's staring at us. It's like, yeah, this is only you and a.
We should have just brought him up to gas with us.
Yeah. Now, there's been some weird times in StarCraft's history.
There have indeed.
So the Roach Warren's coming down right now for RagnaroK.
Okay. I like it. Switching it up a little bit.
Is he going to make a Nidus? Is he going to RagnaroK roll him?
I think he's going to make a small group of roaches and send it. So he doesn't have a layer, so it would be pretty hard to make the Nidus.
Oh, you're very good at the game. Thank you. I did not notice that. I was too busy.
That would be quite the trick, though, wouldn't it?
So, yeah, I mean, let's see with these 2. What do we get? 7 roaches?
Group of 5 being made. 7, there it is.
Now, it looks like he's going to come out.
Oh, 9.
Oh, look at you. Now, if the medevac's moving across the map and the roaches come, this could get a little hairy.
Yeah, definitely wants that at home. Okay, the Overlord diving in, seeing what's what. It's a much better idea what he's going to be fighting against when he gets there.
Now, I don't see a bunker up here.
Nope, certainly not.
So this is definitely a weak point. The roaches are closer to the Terran than the Terran's medevac is closer to the Zerg.
Yeah, but
well, the medevac's only just now leaving. So
yeah, and it's boosting out, so it's not going to have a boost to come back?
Yeah, so it's going to boost as far away and then slow down.
Yeah, this is pretty perfect timing, I think, for the roaches to come in. It's annoying, and the medevac has to turn around, so there goes that harassment. SCVs run, and Ryung is going to be okay. He's actually losing more SCVs than I thought he would right off the bat. Like, he has a C chain coming out, so I don't think he should like overcommit onto this, especially that mule. I don't think that mule did that much damage there, i.e. none.
Now you can come up here and hit these depots. And not a bad engage. I mean, 10 SCVs is pretty good. And, you know, he's going to kill some stuff on the way out, too. Oh, Lings are here. That's okay.
Yeah, the slow Lings wanted to come help the slow roaches, but they were too slow, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's kind of funny to see Lings that are, you know, not upgraded with speed. After a certain point in the game, you're like, these are like the worst things ever.
Yeah, for sure.
So Stim's almost done.
And Ryung right now is down like 22 workers at the moment.
Yeah.
But his army is definitely vastly superior. Like,
True.
He has the same army supply, and it's against Roach.
Yeah, and so maybe there's like a counterpunch here that we can just see him try to dish out. He's going to have 2 tanks. One is inbound. But like, you know, Stim's done. He can like kind of maneuver around all he wants. The Ravagers are being morphed right there, and they get sniped a second later.
Oh! Tries to get that one, doesn't quite. Maybe a little bit of an overextension. Stimming running back. 2 tanks back here do get revealed. He's going to pop that first tank. Looks like he is going to go ahead and hold this push now. The second tank going to be going down.
Yeah, and just with ease, shuts this down. It's 2 base to 4. A third CC starts here for Ryung.
Yeah, not feeling super, super hot.
No, I think this is you know, about as comfortable as Zerg could be right now. I mean, he already killed the SCVs, and then the counterattack came. The tank count's been reset. Evo chambers are upgrading now, both missile and armor, so it's like he's just in a very good position.
Yeah.
And I think this could end, actually, with the Zerg just attacking the Terran as he takes the third.
It's possible. The third is being made in the main, so he can wait, though, to land it.
Yeah, that's what I meant, though, like when he lands it up there.
He's adding a couple of Raxes. Let's see, like, I mean, if you go, like, consistent tank production, consistent medevac production, and start adding in a lot of Marauders, you can field an army, right? Like, think of the game we saw ByuN versus Rogue, where, like, yeah, he lost that push, but then he kind of made a very good anti-roach army before more tech could really be reached. So maybe we can see a move like that from Ryung.
A nice move so far. Again, Terran not really making a dent. I mean, he's got to try, because otherwise, you know, he's never going to catch up, but this is getting brushed off pretty easily. Just now, the third CC's lifted, so he's going to try to secure that. And that's when he might end up giving RagnaroK a target.
71 drones right now. That's pretty fearsome. Ryung gonna have a hard time this game, I think. All right, two Marauders at a time being made.
Ryung does have these medevacs. Well, this is what I was talking about right up here. But other than that, other than like basically the threat of a counterattack, I don't know what he can do. And the thing is, the supplies are so you know, far apart that like when you see 2 medevacs roaming around, if he like tries to counterattack with that, when RagnaroK's inevitable push comes, there's a chance that like RagnaroK just goes across the map and kills literally everything, because there's just not enough to actually make a difference, you know. And even if the Marines are doing damage in the main or something like that, you just make more roaches and kill that off as well.
But there's just 2 Marauders at a time being made, but he's adding some Liberators now to go with the tanks also. So I can see like a very strong anti-Roach Ravager army coming out. And he's got the healthy medevac count at 7. That's really good to see. Really don't want him to lose any units. I think that's more important than trying to get harassment done. Because even if he goes over and kills 10 drones right now, it doesn't matter. There's 81 drones. He's fine. Whereas if you lose 10 units as Ryung, you're just never going to be able to max out. And that's kind of like the comeback mechanic in this case, because you're playing against the supply inefficient Roach Ravager army.
That is true.
So you need to just up your supply and scale better.
You know, it's kind of funny. I feel like RagnaroK is exhibiting some of the same characteristics from the last game, where like he's a little bit slow to kind of take opportunities, you know. But I think when these Banelings finish, that's what we're going to see.
All right, well, it comes up, and this is a nice move, reducing that Roach count a little bit. Wants to pick up, though, before it loses too much.
All right, Hive Tech is coming. Is Zerg going to pull the trigger? Terran is powering up, and look, if Ryung gets maxed out, he's going to be a real threat here.
Liberator count is actually probably pretty darn high right now. He's got, yeah, look at this, 4 Liberators, 6 Siege Tanks. Pretty decent if he spreads this correctly. Like, you just got to zone the Ravagers out from biling these down. Yeah, if he gets a nice forward position, put some pressure on. Throws those biles. Ryung dodges easily. Picking off a few Ravagers, that's fantastic to see. Throws down those Liberation Zones. All right, gets a few connects. Loses 1 Liberator. That's all right, though. Getting close. This is like the 1 weak area for RagnaroK.
Yeah, Ryung's it's kind of impressive, man. He's pushing out 13 more Roaches, 34 more Zerglings. Ultros Cavern coming up. He's slowly inching in. Is this an overextension by RagnaroK? I feel like it is. All that for 1 Liberator.
Yeah, that's true. But, you know, he has a huge economy. He can trade a little bit of inefficiency for sure.
don't know, dude. I feel like Ryung might make this work.
He might. He might.
There's going to be more Banes
This
coming.
is the thing about Road Ravager, right? If you're kind of patient, make the right composition, it does have a hard time.
That's why you don't want to stay on this forever. And he actually missed with all those biles.
Yeah, he doesn't kill the Liberator, only hit with 2.
Bit of a wiggle nerd move there.
A little bit.
All right, let's watch these Banes. They got to connect their targets.
He's running around. Maybe for a counter.
All right, takes out one Liberator.
Don't forget, this is 1-1 upgrades. Hasn't started any additional ones. The counterattack comes in, very annoying. Ryung has to keep this push going. He can't let this take too much of his attention. This is exactly what RagnaroK wants. He just wants a moment here to build up enough to crush this. Yeah, comes in again. Love it from RagnaroK. Really
So
good moves. Just slowing him down. And here we go. Comes in again, looking for the kill on this army. If he can eliminate it, he's basically got the game.
Yeah.
Doesn't quite get it, but he does reduce a lot of the high-tech units.
If you take out the tanks, I mean, that's a win in of itself.
Yeah.
And when the Ultras come out, they're just going to bulldoze over this.
They're going to do a very good job. 85 drones can
All these medevacs are, sorry, Artos, I mean, I don't know if you, all these medevacs are empty with energy too. So, like, you know.
That's
GG,
it.
there it is.
Wow, RagnaroK, very nicely done.
Ragnorino, more like.
Yeah, it comes back for
more like
2-1.
Ragnioli.
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 It's my favorite food.
Yeah. Chef Boyardee over here, Ragnioli.
Chef. Okay. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna regurgitate an old joke. It's only gonna be new stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he goes up another Ryung in the groove.
Oh man, Ryung, like he's so good, but it's not going well.
No, it's turned out to be a rough night for him, unfortunately. Take a look at the actual standings here. But we do have that interview coming up as well.
Yeah, let's see what RagnaroK has to say about moving on.
After a neck-and-neck match, it is RagnaroK defeating Ryung, and he will be moving on to the next round. Congratulations, RagnaroK. Thank you. Wow, the final match has been really intense for you. Through that match, you're now securing the 3rd place in Group A standings. How do you feel?
원래 경기 전에 항상 자신 있는데
Well, prior to the match, I was very confident.
컨디션이 너무 안 좋아가지고
But this time around, my condition was really bad.
보통 경기 전날 밤에 잠을 못 자진 않거든요.
So, you know, normally I get good sleep before the match
너무 아침부터
the previous day, but this time I couldn't get enough sleep.
집중이 너무 안
It was not that much of a deal, but, you know, I had hard time focusing today.
많이 보여줘서
And I think my performance in general was not satisfactory.
그냥
You know, even though I did advance, I still feel quite annoyed with my play. So you just mentioned your condition. So you're saying that you're not really happy after your victory. So round of 8 GSL has been your career high. And now you said your new career high, which is round of 6. So I'm sure you are pretty rejoiced about that.
사실 2등 하고 싶었거든요.
I really wanted to become 2nd place in this group.
베르누 선수까지 이기고
So I wanted to defeat ByuN
1등 하고 싶었거든요.
and try to move on as the 1st place or 2nd place.
일단이 바로 다음 주 월요일이더라고요.
Because round of 6 is next Monday.
준비할 시간이 좀더
So
필요할
prep
것
time
같아서
is quite
그래서
short.
원했는데 그래도 못 올라간 것보다 훨씬 나으니까
But I think overall, you know,
그때는
moving on
선수가
than getting eliminated is better. So, you know, I'm satisfied about that. In a hard wire. You used the fungal perfectly on the mechanic army, and it was quite fascinating to watch, RagnaroK. There were so many swords in the game, and the mech army was leading the game with the abundant swords, but you managed to pull up an offset. So what was that about? You know, I was supposed to lose that game,
제가 원하는 만큼의 그런 분해 회전이 안 돼가지고
but you know, my brain wasn't working as I hoped it would,
실수도 많이 하고
and I did make lots of trivial mistakes.
그랬거든요. 근데 동원이 형이 그
But Ryung
11시 쪽에서 카라키 5마리 때문에 멀티를 계속 못 먹더라고요.
At 11 o'clock,
그거만
he
만약에
couldn't block my multi base because expansion because of the corruptors. So I think there was that snowballed into my upset. And I think Ryung today was quite nervous, and he was really nervous in general today.
지금 순위가 확정됐기 때문에 비조 상황을
So now the standings are finalized. Let's talk about Group B. So Creator is first place, and Maru is the last place in the group, surprisingly.
현재 1주차 상황이긴 하지만
So this is only the week 1 result. So how do you see this trend? How do you analyze this trend?
사실 현우가 그러니까 유승할 때는 상상도 못하긴
I
했는데
really did not expect Creator to come out as first place by winning 2 matches.
세레모니 하는 거 보고
But after him winning and then
간절했나 보다
pulling off the ceremony, I can see how desperate he was and how much he yearned for that victory.
그래가지고
So it was quite emotional to me. So I just really want to celebrate him.
토스가 왔으면 좋겠어요.
You know, I hope to face against the Protoss in the next round actually. So you're talking about Creator or Hero? Well, if I go up against Hero, I don't mind losing to him because we're close. But against Creator, I almost never lost to him in an online match. So I think I'm gonna feel pretty confident playing against Creator as well. Alright, then before you go, anything you want to say, RagnaroK?
사실 이 조가 제가 이제
this group.
올라갈 수 있을 거라고 생각은 했거든요.
When I looked at it, I thought I would make it to the round of 6 easily.
비주에 비해서는 좀 꿀빨 것 같긴
But you're
한데
having advanced to round of 6 now. I feel like it was much easier than Group B. And now that I move forward,
오늘 같은 경기를 안 보여드리도록
I will try not to show the performance I showed today. Right, once again, congratulations on making the round of 6, RagnaroK. Thank you. Now all there is left is the final match after a RagnaroK match. It will be between Trap and Rogue, and this has been a much anticipated match for the fans. And this is gonna change the standings as well, so please tune in until the next match.